What stood out? Day one of Saints training camp, ladies and gentlemen, the backdrop, New Orleans.football from their content van. All right, first look, actually. First video I've seen in the van. So I love it. I love the innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm filming this late Wednesday night. All right, it's protein o'clock. All right, my protein shake daily, 10 millis of creatine in here, scoop of MRE light. Okay, so day one of training camp is in the books. All right, we've heard a little bit of Spencer Rattler look good. We heard a little bit about, okay, you know, we're moving and shaking. Some players are out there looking good, looking right. Get it right, get it tight. Okay, pause. Now let's hear from the NOF crew. What was going on in day one? What the hell am I talking about?
Memorial Boulevard. What stood out most on day one of training camp?
Did you sleep in the van last night?
No,
So
but
you
I got
get here first.
I got up at 6 o'clock and I was pulled in this parking lot before
Yeah.
they had the guardrails up. Yes.
So like dramatic music, like sun's coming up, the sprinklers are coming on, Nick's pulling up in the van, like sort of the Hard Knocks intro. You're in
absolutely.
it. You're in
No, absolutely.
You and like the gardener are in the opening shot.
Like I popped open the door and was like drinking a cup of coffee as the sun was coming up. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No doubt
Absolutely.
about it. That's how we're doing it. Look,
Real quick, this is a perfect example, ladies and gentlemen. I say it all the time, okay? This is what you got to do. Innovate. I'm not saying go buy a van, but innovate. Push the envelope. Think about the next thing. Try it. See if it works. Always move. Always evolve. Always pivot, okay? The terrestrial radio stations who are stuck in the same situation as they were in 1985, the news stations that are doing the same thing they were doing in 1985, they're falling behind. All right? If you're a content creator, you want to get into content creation, whatever, this is the way. Evolve, innovate, pivot, try things, fail, win, succeed, all that. This is how you got to do it. Big ups for the whole van thing. I think it's an awesome idea. And I think anyone in the content game, always innovate.
it's like legitimately my favorite day of the year. And like I can't, like I'm not a guy that can fake energy. Like I just either have it or I don't, and it's real or it's not. We don't do fake. Like I love this, man. Like I love it. I'm excited about it. The fact that the sun was covered by a cloud, I was like, that made it better.
Yeah.
I was kind of walking out there like, man, I'm a little bit less excited about this team than I have been in the past. But then as soon as we're out there, it was just like the adrenaline shot hit. It's still going. This is the happiest.
You're in.
I will tell you this. This is what I expected to happen. And if you go back in, we do so many videos, I can't remember which one it was. But I said that the second, and if you're a watcher of the channel and a daily watcher, you'll remember me saying this. But I said once camp starts, once the players are on the field, all of this, like, I want the team to tank, or 2 wins, 3 wins, or this team's not good, or this is a bad team, or the 32nd team in the NFL, all that's going to go away. Because the newness, the adventure, the excitement, all of that's going to take control. And really quickly, obviously it's going to start locally, because that's who's watching practice. But once the regular season hits or preseason hits, you're going to hear it nationally. And all of a sudden it's going to shift. And we're going to see this team be what they are, which is an exciting, rebuilding, young, energetic team. Full of, not to get too poetic here, but full of wonder, ladies and gentlemen. That's what this season is. How can you not be excited for this team? 9 draft picks. Who the hell is the quarterback? We don't know. Spencer Rattler, Tyler Shuck, both have great stories. Both have, trials and tribulations they had to overcome. You got big name players like Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, right? You got Talise Fuaga. You got a top 10 pick in Kelvin Banks at left tackle. Like Kellen Moore, 36-year-old head coach, youngest head coach in the NFL, coming off of a Super Bowl win. Brandon Staley getting a second chance. Failed as a head coach, back to his roots as a DC. Damn. What's not to be excited about? And one day in, boom, the energy's there. I'm not surprised at all, and I love it. And that's why this is the... How many times have y'all heard me say this? This is the best time in my lifetime to be a Saints fan. Like, this is to begin the process. Like, this is the best possible page 1 of a book you can ask for.
Enthusiasm in that video, which people have to check out. You want to see practice, you're seeing practice.
Yeah.
In the video you're talking about, your enthusiasm might be the best part. I am trying to find it. I almost picked it as our Get Gordon question of the day today. And I apologize to the reader and follower who I'm forgetting the name. One of the comments under a story that I almost used as a question of the day was, Nick, congrats for making it through another offseason. You got here.
This offseason was
It was long.
It was an MFer, man. Like, it was just like stuff happening every single day. And that makes it cool to like cover, but it was a wild offseason. And it wasn't like positive developments. Right. So like when they're signing a player you're excited about and you can talk about, you know, Chase Young or, you know, they get a Randy Moss or like whoever, that's exciting. Like you're talking about that, you're amped up. This was just kind of like, oh, this is a plant wilting away, and we're covering like the petals falling bit by bit by bit by bit. Tyler Shuck was exciting, Banks was exciting. Like obviously,
I mean, and we're all kind of talking about the same thing here. And you know, the off season, and I'm not saying you always have to be pumping sunshine, all right? That's not what I'm saying. You do have to be realistic, but sometimes those petals falling off are necessary. And sometimes, if anybody here has a green thumb, sometimes the best thing to do with a plant is to trim it down to where there's just nothing, right? All the dead leaves, all the dead stems, whatever, trim it down and start anew. And again, not to be too poetic, I'm pulling a straight up David Foster Wallace right now. It's the late night, ladies and gentlemen. But sometimes, like, that's what's exciting, is that journey. And what's exciting is stripping it all down. Shout out Ricks. Strip it all the way down and just see what happens and create something new. You know, it's challenging. It is kind of sad to a certain extent to forget all that was there and to get rid of all and to see it, you know, completely just nothing. Yeah, it can be sad. But if you understand what's there at the end, if you understand where you're headed, if you understand where you are going, what you're working towards, and if you believe in it, if Mike McCarthy was the head coach, Ron Rivera was the head coach, you know, this would probably be a Minecraft channel or something. You know, who the hell knows? Never played Minecraft a day in my life. But because I believe in Kellen Moore, because I believe in the vision, the identity, all that stuff, that's where it's like, all right, we can take the lumps.
Some, but you know, it was a weird offseason.
I took the comment to mean you just struggle to get through every offseason because it's like time is not moving. Like you don't even like going on vacation. You can't wait to get to this day. Sure. But to that point, Matt Bowen, friend of the show, friend of mine, who covers the NFL for ESPN and really covers free agency for them, just ranked the top 5 NFL offseason moves, and the Saints are not on the top, or top 50, and the Saints are not on the list.
I mean, yeah, what would it be? The only thing that I think I do think hiring Kellen Moore should be in the top 50. I don't know about this ranking. I mean, I don't know if they count coaches and stuff, but if it's just roster-wise, yeah, we wouldn't have had a move that would have been in the top 50. But I think hiring Kellen Moore should be a top 50 move. I mean, it is a franchise-changing, franchise-defining move.
He didn't have one of this team did not have one of the top 50 offseason moves in the NFL. It's their reality.
We got Justin Reed on there, but I mean, I'm not like super mad at it. It's anything. It's hard to have like positivity about this team, and I guess through the isolated view of the Saints should be rebuilding, and then they add like an expensive player to the mix. Yeah. From a distance, you'd be like, why are they doing that? Like that's what we would say about any team doing it. I like the Justin Reed signing. I think he's a good player. I think in reality, like the actual up close view of the team is like, oh my God, and especially with Tyron retiring, they need him more than ever just to have somebody that has a voice in a very young side.
I mean, you know, great point. But the Justin Reed signing went from, you don't need to do that, you know, salary cap hell, whatever, to now it's like, whoa, genius move. Right now it's like, whoa. I mean, that is if we didn't have Justin Reed, there'd be some big time question marks at the safety position. But because we went and signed Justin Reed on a good deal and got a good player in his prime, like that deal should be way more celebrated than it is. Now, the Saints do get graded pretty harsh by ESPN. I mean, we all remember the Seth Walder article where they were getting dinged for hypothetical Derek Carr situations. So, you know.
Secondary. But from a distance, if I was looking at the Seattle Seahawks or the Chicago Bears or whoever, and if they were in this exact situation, I'd be like, why are they signing him? Granted, the Saints didn't know they were in the situation when they signed him, but yeah, I mean, I get it. Like from the distant view, it's hard to see the logic behind it, but I think he's a very suddenly very necessary piece of it.
The two candidates that I would suggest for a list like this that'll transition obviously into day one of camp is Derek Carr's surprise retirement and giving the money back, which lit a fire under this fan base. It lit a fire, and the enthusiasm we're all feeling is it would not be the same. And it's not even a knock on Derek Carr, which
it is. And great point, Michael. Yes, like Derek Carr retiring should probably be on there. Like those things are framed so negatively all the time, and they should be framed in a positive. Like Derek Carr retiring, whether you're a Carr fan or not, him retiring really, I mean, I don't want to be hyperbolic here, but that's one of the bigger things to happen to this team in a long time. Because if he doesn't retire, that's all we talk about. There's a haze over the team where, you know, we can't fully move forward. We can't fully be in this rebuild. We can't do all that stuff because of Carr. The team probably is still kind of in an awkward place. The money is still weird. You still have to restructure them. Like, what's going on? So him retiring and just you wash your hands of it, like that really did kick things off to where it was like, all right, now it's officially the new New Orleans Saints and the new identity, new culture, new voices, new everything.
Which, you know, we've talked about his career a lot, but it's just ripping the Band-Aid off and starting this rebuild, reset, whatever you want to call it. And then obviously drafting Tyler Shuck 40th overall. Not as big of a deal as drafting Cam Ward number 1 overall, which was his number 2 on the list. But for the Saints, it is. It's the highest draft pick they've had at quarterback since Archie Manning. You know, that's what, you know, obviously hiring Kellen Moore could be on a list like this too. And that's what we're out here watching today. I mean, we watched everything today. We always watch everything, but the competition between Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler, and I just tried to keep an eye on everything Kellen Moore did as well. I mean, new coach, new quarterback is fascinating to cover, even if it's not one of the most exciting teams in the league. What stood out?
Well said, Mike. And yeah, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous that we are not getting more eyeballs on us. New coach, and even if it's not a new quarterback, and even if it's not a truly new quarterback, like if Spencer Rattler's a starter, it's a quarterback with 6.5 games of experience. New quarterback, new coach, new coaching staff, youngest coach, rookie left tackle, second-year right tackle. Like, what else do you want? You know, like, what else do you want as far as an exciting offseason or an exciting rebuild for a team? And it's crazy that the ESPNs of the world and all these rankings and all these lists, like, they're not giving any attention to it.
Did you see, you ever seen Carlito's Way?
Yes.
Like getting the money back and getting rid of Derek Carr is like a David what's his name? David Kleinfeld. Like that's David Kleinfeld move. Like that's a David Kleinfeld move, man. Like it was just like a straight up like
Carlito's
mafia, illegal lawyer type move. Yeah, let's get into this, man, because like we've talked about the bullshit for like way too long.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're out there on the field. I thought it was a good day for Rattler. And look, I don't want to do the thing where we're declaring a winner and a loser every single day.
It won't be every day. The show is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we'll declare a winner and a loser every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
It's impossible not to do it, and it's impossible not to overreact when there's only a day sample, 3-day sample, 7-day sample. You kind of really got to start stacking days before it kind of just becomes more of a contextualized conversation. We're judging it bit by bit by bit. And on day one, I thought Spencer Rattler looked better. They threw 8 passes, 4 in team, 4 in 7-on-7. Shuck was short one because he didn't get a pass off on one. Rattler completed every single pass. There were a lot of checkdowns within that. I'm not mad at the checkdowns. You watch the tape, you see he didn't have anything open. He went to him. I'm not mad at it. I thought he looked better. I thought he got the ball out quicker. I thought Shuck took a little bit more time just processing, getting through his reads, seeing stuff. when you go through it on a lot of the plays where like he kind of ate it, there wasn't nothing there. Like, and that's kind of the advantage of them letting us like actually film everything now. You can actually look at it instead of being like, hey, look, he was holding the ball too long. Like, wait, nobody got open. Now, on a couple of them, I thought he made really poor. Like, there was one where I thought he made a really poor throw to I believe it was Jack Stoll. He allowed the pass to get broke up by Burgess. I didn't think that was a good play for him. You know, it was just a quicker day though for Rattler.
There you go. I mean, and look, I'm going to kind of talk out of both sides of my mouth here. On one hand, yeah, judging every 4 passes or every 8 passes, like in the grand scheme of things, not that big of a deal. On the other side, these two are in a quarterback competition, and each rep does matter. Each moment does matter. Each second of this thing does matter. So in the grand scheme of things, it'll all come together, right? But for what we are doing, there's no choice but to analyze every single second and every single snap. Rattler, look, we know this is going to happen. Like, we know Rattler's going to come to play. We know he is an alpha dog. We know he is a 1% of the 1% of the 1%, right? You do not become number 1 high school prospect, Elite 11 winner, Senior Bowl MVP, favorite to win the Heisman, favorite to go first overall, quarterback at Oklahoma. Like, you don't do all that without being an alpha dog. To be a competitor, to be a warrior, we know that's what Rattler's going to do. We know he's going to show up to compete. The question is, what's Tyler Shuck going to look like? Right? We've heard all about the pro style offense at Louisville. We've heard all about the 4.6 40. We've heard all about 6'5". We've heard all about his arm. Okay, well, can you play quarterback good? And so that comes with processing. That comes with getting out of the huddle. Now it's time to see how it actually looks. And he may take some time. It may come to him a little slower. You know, he may need that. I mean, it's day 1. You know, he's going to have to develop for sure. But if Rattler keeps doing what he's doing and Shuck does need time to develop, this could be Rattler's starting job to lose.
Or looked like a guy that kind of was in rhythm, in tune, ready to go, all that stuff. And man, if like Marcus Yarns would have made the catch on a ball, like it was a beautiful pass, and like that,
we would have been talking about that.
It was the pass itself he just dropped it, like he just didn't complete it. It wasn't like when we were watching out there, I was like, oh, he like had to adjust. It was kind of difficult, and I wrote the notes first, and I'm gonna go edit them when we're done with it.
I changed your wording. You called it a drop, and I said wasn't able to complete the catch because my view of it was, I'm not 100% sure he dropped it or when he got to the point, like he hadn't turned his body all the way. But you're right. Watching the film, I watched your recap of the film. We do need to go back in and call it
a straight drop. Yeah, and I mean, these are the things though when you're watching live, and then when it's kind of like if there's a coin flip, and I'm like, hey Mike, what'd you see, Nick? What'd you see? Like, we're gonna go with the more cautious wording because like there isn't a certainty. So like, thank you, Kellen Moore, for letting us film this. Like, it just makes for better analysis, more fair analysis, honestly. So
beautifully played. And to be clear, it was a Tyler Shuck pass. The placement was it's a cliche to say he threw it where only his guy could go get it. But you saw right when he released the ball, like, oh, there is only one possible outcome on the two possible outcomes on this play. Marcus Yarns is going to catch a 40-yard pass, or it's going to be incomplete. It was not a dangerous pass. It was a perfectly placed pass. It was a really nice throw.
Yeah, it was a beautiful, like, lolly, like it just kind of dropped right in. Amazing throw. So it was probably closer than maybe the stats suggest. You Chuck gets out there with the ones tomorrow with more talented players. Like, there's a Chris Olave to go up and get the ball in a way that maybe there isn't in the second team. So that, like, if you roll reverse, like, that's probably an incompletion on Rattler. You know, I hate to do the thing about like where we're analyzing ball placement, and I was actually making like jokes about how everybody was freaking out about it.
They are freaking out.
And then you go back and look at it, and like, that's a tough throw.
Yeah,
that's a tough throw to make.
He had more space to. He didn't have to make Olave leap for that pass. But again, you also throw that knowing that you're not going to get the guy blown up because nobody's allowed to hit. So,
but you got to practice how you're going to play. Yeah.
To that end, you got to practice how you're going to play. This is very unfair of me, and you made the great point that you went back and watched the tape and you saw no one was open on all those throws. I think we have officially seen not just a day, but a trend with Tyler Shuck holding the ball, hitching the ball, patting the ball.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Pretty soon we're going to need to see a clock in his head. Now, this is the first day we've ever seen 11 on 11
Yeah, I mean, and it also, processing it for the first time and all that is going to take, that clock isn't fully dialed in yet. Certainly not on day one, and a lot of this is brand new to him. Even to the, like he mentioned, I think it was in Mina Kimes' podcast, but he mentioned even just like taking a snap from Eric McCoy and how he had to really work on the timing of how fast he can get out from under center and how fast he can get out of, like just stuff like that you don't even think about. That's in his head right now. He's processing all of that. So
we're going to see a lot more 11 on 11 from now on. We're going to see pads in a few days. We're going to see preseason games. I hope that does not become a trend, but he needs to it feels like he needs to operate a little faster. That is something I want to see him develop.
I think you see him thinking a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think when anybody's like, new to doing something.
For sure.
Well, also if anyone that plays golf knows how this can happen. Sometimes the more you work on your golf swing, the worse it becomes, because all of a sudden you're thinking, okay, are my feet here? Is the ball lined up here? Okay, I got to take the club back. Is my left arm straight? Okay, is my right arm grazing by my pocket? Okay, what's the angle of my right elbow? Okay, now I'm going up. Where's my head placement at? Okay, now I got to shift my hips, but I push my legs. Okay, but I don't want to drive the club too far to this point. Okay, now I got to, like, the more you do that, the worse you play. And eventually you kind of get into where you just kind of swing and you worry about that stuff later. That's where Shuck might be, where he went through rookie minicamp, then minicamp, then he flew out and threw with Brandon Cooks in Oregon or whatever. Then he goes to Dallas and plays, and now he's here, and now he's doing this, and he's been doing 15 different podcasts, and he's got 150 dozen oysters in his stomach. Like, maybe it's just right now it's a lot, you know what I mean? And maybe he's thinking, all right, I got to take it from Eric McCoy. I got to get out of here in half a second. Let me drop back. Boom. What's my progression? What's my reads? What am I doing? Where do I throw here? Who is that? What's his name again? Like, it's a lot happening. So that paralysis by analysis early on is to be expected for sure. What is interesting is that now all of the promise and all of the hypotheticals and everything we heard about Tyler Shuck, now we are officially in that prove it. Now we're officially in that show it phase where everything we heard was fine, and this isn't a knock on Tyler Shuck, but now it's all right, strip all that away, and now we can see what's actually on the field. We heard all about the experience and the maturity level and the 7 seasons and the 5 offenses and Louisville and the pro style readiness, and we heard all about that. Okay, now show us. Right? Okay, now it's you versus that guy right there, and Jake Haener, LOL.
Sure. When I used to go on the news like that, I would ask for like critiques about what I was doing like early on in my career, and they'd be like, "Well, you can kind of see you like thinking about what you're gonna say." Like,
they did that on Fox. Like, it was a critique of his.
Yeah, and it's just you got to just say it. You just got to have the confidence to say it and do it. And I think at some point that's gonna click, and when it clicks, I think that's when we see the ascension of him take off. But Rattler looks like the vet still, and I think he should. I think that's normal. I think it's what you would expect to see out of it. But it does have to click, and it is a trend. It is something we saw in minicamp. It is something we saw in OTAs. There probably are, a window here and there where you could fire a little bit quicker, not hitch, not tuck and roll. It is a thing. It definitely is a thing where he's definitely leading the team in 5-second throws, no doubt about it.
Don't forget, whenever all the draft stuff was going on and all those throws where he was tucking and rolling, and I said, this isn't really something you want to see. I know it looks cool against Notre Dame or whoever, but you don't really want to see this. Like, some of that stuff now it's on the field. I mean, now we got to see him correct it. But just like they just said, this is to be expected. He is the rookie. Spencer Rattler is, in this situation, the vet. He should be ahead of Shuck. If he wasn't ahead of Shuck, we'd be in a horrible situation, right? You might as well call us the Browns. This is the best case scenario for Saints fans. The best case scenario is that Rattler remains the one as long as possible and forces Shuck to try and chase him and forces Shuck to try and leap him. Because what that's going to do, it's going to push Rattler. Okay, it's going to further Rattler's develop faster. And it's also going to force Shuck to develop faster. And if Shuck falls off and he can't get there, well, he pushed Rattler, and now Rattler's ready to go. And if Shuck does eventually leap Rattler, then we know Shuck's ready to go because he did beat out Rattler, right? So that's the best case situation. I know right now it sounds like we're being hypercritical of Shuck, but this is to be expected. This is good news, the way I see it. It's good that Rattler is looking good. It's good that Rattler is comfortable. It'd be so much worse if they're saying all this about Tyler Shuck struggling, but Rattler also struggled. That would be no bueno.
And look, when he can take off running, it is an element of his game that he has some athleticism. If that's what he does and it's an 8-yard run, then it's not a negative. Now he's standing in the pocket for 5 seconds because you can stand in the pocket for 5 seconds.
That's not good.
In 7-on-7, there aren't even defensive tackles on the field. In 11-on-11, there are, but they're not allowed to touch you. So it's just practice how you're actually going to play. I'm curious what that looks like when you're simulating live activity and you're required to get rid of the ball in less than 5 seconds.
Safety number 24, Burgess. He's somebody that has looked good over and over. Like he's popped a few times. They've done a really good job over the years of identifying these kind of journeyman safeties that are able to contribute, and you kind of notice them early every year. Justin Evans, the 1 year, there was somebody else after him. Ugo is in that mold.
Lonnie Johnson.
Now Burgess.
I got him himself. He was a corner, but same thing. The DBs.
Yeah, I mean, like Michael Parrington and them guys, like that is like maybe Burgess is in that mold.
We may see Julian Blackman may be another one when we.
Yeah, he will be. I guess he doesn't. Yeah. He feels like he has more pedigree, but like he doesn't. Like he's still a free agent. Burgess played in Los Angeles for a number of years. He's had some injuries, but like he's somebody that's stood out every day. I thought he did so again today. Colin Saunders blew up a pass in the backfield to Alvin. I think just moments are important for all those guys up front, but like specifically the incumbents, him and Shepard.
Oh yeah, I mean that is a complete like Rolodex. The defensive line, you got Chase Young, Carl Granderson, and then throw the names in a hat and see what happens. That's a Royal Rumble. It really is. It's everyone's in the ring. We'll see who's left, and that'll be your rotation.
Who have just been here, and it feels like they're actively getting replaced for them to remind us who they are, what they can do. I think that's important.
Yeah.
The guy that I really like more than Danny Stutzman had this like incredible play over the middle, just kind of reading the field, reading Shuck, breaking over. Like pass got completed, but he's there. His range, his instincts. It's on the video on the site.
Stutzman's the man. Okay. When you are a 90+ run grade on PFF, when you are an All-American, when you are putting up the numbers he has, when you have the RAS score that he has, I mean, his RAS score was as good, if not better, than anyone else. It was better. It was either the same or better than like Jihad Campbell. Like Danny Stutzman, you talk about an underrated player that no one's talking about, except all of us, obviously. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if Stutzman immediately is like, "Whoa, okay, hold on a second, this guy's for real."
Like that was like that one made me like, whoa, like it was a very, very impressive play by.
It's super early with Stutzman, but if you told me to pencil in who starts if Werner or DeMario misses a game, I think he's already linebacker 3. I don't know if that means he'd start at strong side linebacker. It's not his position. I think DeMarco Jackson, when there's 3 linebackers.
Yeah, but if there were an injury, like he's definitely.
I think Stutzman's next man up already at that position. One interesting thing about Burgess, he had stood out to me in OTAs and minicamp, and I think he had overtaken Ugo Amadi as the backup nickel.
Yeah.
Today, though, Amadi was second string nickel because Burgess moved back to safety because of the Tyrann Matthew retirement. So his chance to maybe win the backup nickel job, I don't know if that took a hit. Now he's a backup safety. When Blackman comes, maybe they switch him back. But the fact that he's been playing second string nickel and second string safety is, I penciled him.
He was first team dime. They got into a dime look too, and he was out there. So he's definitely, he like if we're making a roster today, he'd be on it. He definitely could fade. It could be veteran guy on a young team flashing, but while everybody's still kind of getting up to speed, that happens sometimes. But I kind of believe in what we're seeing there. Their pedigree of like just identifying those guys over the years, it's been pretty impressive.
And then to your point on Saunders and Shepard, Jonah Williams was another guy that we were talking about, like Burgess. Like, man, this guy is getting first team reps. They signed him in free agency. He was kind of an afterthought. Well, today was the first time we saw all the defensive tackles at the same time. And Shepard and Saunders did go in ahead Jonah Williams only worked with the third team today. Now that'll constantly rotate, but it lets you know what the starting pecking order is, and it still is Shepard, and so it will.
Yeah, I mean, all that's changing, but it is important to know, like, who's chasing who. You know what I mean? Like, all right, who's got pole position, who's ahead right now, and who's got to make up some ground.
The starters were Devon Gotcha and Brian Brzee. No surprise there.
Second guy's playing 5-tech end.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I didn't know that he was going to be doing that on early downs. We had questions about it. I'm interested to see how he settles into that. It might be in his wheelhouse. Maybe he gets better at defending the run doing that. I like seeing that though. It's interesting to me.
And they said all along one of the reasons they want to do that is they want to create more one-on-one opportunities for him and just enhance his pass rushing as much as possible.
He put there was a
Makes
rep.
sense.
Like it's no contact or but like he locked horns with like Penning and just like kind of like he won.
That's what everyone said they're most excited about with Brzee this year is if you get him one-on-one on a guard and not in traffic, he's I mean maybe that 8 sacks is something he can repeat for sure.
That'd be a hell of a those two like just big dudes like battling like the if you could let me stage a boxing,
just natural big freak athletes. Penning, Brzee. Just 2 guys, gallon of milk and a bologna sandwich kind of hombres, just going at it.
Match. Like, I think that would be
That's the one.
Well, I mean, we know Penning likes to throw. Remember that first year he was out here, he was just getting in a fight every single day?
Penning Ridgeway. It'd be a little slower moving, but.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see the Brzee one, man. Like, I'm here for it. Like, I feel like they're athletic matchups, both first rounders, both about, similar stature. Penning's obviously bigger than everybody, but that's the one that I would want to see it.
First day in pads is the 4th day or 5th day?
I don't know.
Whenever it is, we'll get our first reports of one-on-one pass rush drills. We're just days away from that. Always.
Yeah.
Players hate how much we focus on that because they say they're working on moves and stuff like that. But it is the only time we ever get to look at offensive linemen and defensive linemen until we can break down film at practice now and like really isolate wins and losses for those guys.
Yeah.
So I always look forward to that.
The other thing too, like they always make fun of us for like making training camp stats or whatever, and then Kellen Moore reference his OTAs and minicamp and said like they were basically the same, the quarterbacks. The NOF's chart, they were basically the same. It was a 1 pass difference.
Using the NOF.
I don't, but like it's just funny, man. It's just funny the way that
Well, this coaching staff, this is a very analytical coaching staff. Like, that is something you can go ahead and guarantee. They aren't just going by gut. They aren't just going by feel. These guys are charting everything. They are breaking down everything. They know every stat. They know every rep. They know, like, this is a different time for the New Orleans Saints. We have gone from one of the least analytic situations with Dennis Allen and then Pete Carmichael before him, or before Clint Kubiak. And, Kubiak was kind of getting us into that world of like thinking a little bit more, innovating a little bit more, evolving a little bit more. This new coaching staff, you talk about the pendulum swinging the entire different direction. So there's not a doubt in my mind. I don't put a whole lot of stock into training camp stats and all that, but I guarantee you our coaching staff knows what the stats were every single practice.
No, it's just like, don't do this, but like they're doing the same exact thing. All right. Anything else? Day one?
I'm writing about Chris Olave as you teased earlier, because to me, Chris Olave has fallen into the group of, not quite in the same dominant fashion, but Michael Thomas and Jimmy Graham before him and Marcus Colston before him, where it just looks like, oh, they're letting one of the pro players play with the kids today. It's just like anytime, and this was true of Olave in camp last year, anytime any of the quarterbacks gets, I remember when Hainer and Rattler were battling for the twos, and then whenever Olave would take a snap with the twos, they would just complete passes to Olave. I mean, the concussions are my only question mark with him, and we talked to him a lot about that. But otherwise, he's a fully formed NFL player on a team that does not have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Hey, remember, week 1, go ahead and take the Chris Olave over reception prop as soon as it pops. All right, it'll probably be a little bit lower because he didn't play a lot last year. He had the concussions. What the Saints are supposed to be bad, whatever. They'll probably hang like a 4.5 or something. Hammer it.
I don't like. I just feel like people have started to like criminally underrate him, and it's insane. Like he's a immensely talented football player.
I mean, people are too busy talking about Darnell Mooney and whatever Xavier Legette, and they forgot that Chris Olave exists.
Concussions, like Even when the Garrett Wilson thing happened, people were like, no, it's not. It's like he is literally like the same player at the same level, and the stats are literally the same on.
Before last year, you could argue he was better. We in a video, we had a comp with him and Garrett Wilson, and we looked at everything, and it is eerily similar. But now, last year skews it a little bit, but yeah, whatever you thought about Garrett Wilson going into last year, you should think about Olave.
17 game averages, like he's just been hurt. Yeah. You can dock him for that, like absolutely, you have to. And Chris even kind of said it himself, like I'm not even talking contract right now because of the injury thing, but like on a talent level, like he is an immensely talented individual.
We need to see more in the red zone from him, but I've never covered a better route runner.
Or he's also was playing football with like the worst red zone quarterback in NFL history.
Really good point.
Yeah, I mean, so like that probably plays a little, it's probably a little bit of both. Like, hey, he could do more there, and then also wasn't with the right guy in that area of the field. Moving on into our next.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Day one in the books. It's gonna be a fun off season. It's gonna be a fun season. Hold on to your butts, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.